Hey everyone, this is a really short training um, that I'm putting together for sports businesses. And really, I want to teach you two things in this training today. Um, really, I want to give you a clear formula for calculating customer retention rates. And I also want to share with you a bit of a secret formula that can help you understand your business at, I guess, in a different way, and this will help you understand why it's so important to focus on improving customer retention. So, the main reason I'm putting together this short training is because recently we surveyed our list and or our email list and asked, how many people actually measure retention rates of their business, whether it's a swim school or a tennis center or whatever, on a regular basis. And only less than half actually measure it. It's around 35% actually measure in some capacity. And we also asked why those that aren't measuring, why is that the case? And the most common reason was that they weren't sure of the best way to calculate retention. So I'm hoping to really clear that up today and give you some other, I guess, ideas and formulas to really help you understand why retention is so important. So let's jump in. So we recommend you measure retention through what we call attrition rate, which is simply looking at your attrition or your lost customers for a specific period. So let's have a look at the formula here. It's quite simple. We look at our cancelled students. So how many did we lose for a specific period? And divide that by how many people we started with at the start of that period. So if we look at this example, we can see, for example, in March, we had 37 customers lost. And you don't need to do this monthly. It may be you want to measure it over a term. So really, all we're doing is choosing a specific period of measurement. So in this example, the period is a month. So for the month of March, we've lost 37 students, but we started with 1,248 students. So very simply, we take the 37, divide it by 1,248, and multiply by 100 to get our attrition rate. So here's in this example, it's a 2.96 attrition rate. So I think that's the way we recommend you measure retention, because it's simple, it's easy to calculate, and it's not going to take you long to work out at all. The most important thing is obviously being able to, one, track this data, and that's where good software comes in. So if you don't already know, we have a platform called First Class that, one, helps track this information automatically for you, and two, helps you calculate this kind of information. But if you don't have a tool like that, you can, find other ways of measuring it and recording it so you can do these type of calculations. On top of that, I think the other important thing is that you're playing against yourself here when it comes to attrition. We want to know, are we improving? Is our attrition getting lower or is it getting higher? It may be high to start with. So that kind of leads nicely into our next formula. And this is probably one of my favorites because it really is eye-opening, because it'll really allow you to predict the future. So let's have a look. It's called the hypothetical max enrollment. So this formula will actually tell you the maximum your enrollments can get to based on your current figures. So this is eye-opening because it kind of shows the current ceiling of your business if nothing else changes. So let's have a look at how that works. So what we want to look at is number of new customers. So here we can see, for example, for April, we had 34 new customers. So we call that customer acquisition. Really, a sports business with recurring or active students is really the combination of two forces, customer acquisition and customer retention. So here we had 34 new customers. And let's say our attrition rate was 2.9, which it was in the previous example. So what we can do is take these two numbers and work out our maximum enrollment number based on these two variables. So this tells us our ceiling of growth in the business. So if we take 34 and divide it by 2.9%, it's going to give us a number of 1,172. So this is the highest enrollment I can reach based on these metrics. So unless I improve here or here, it's going to be very difficult or impossible. This is literally the best I can do in my business. So the area for an established business that's very hard to improve is new customer acquisition, because you can only do so much advertising. You're only going to get so much word of mouth, etc. So once you're established, this is really hard to change. But for a lot of businesses, they're not focused enough here. And this is where the real opportunity lies. So when you improve this metric, attrition rate, that lifts your potential in terms of your max enrollment numbers. So let's take this a step further and actually have a look at an example in a spreadsheet of how this actually, takes place. So I've got some metrics here, and these are the metrics we would typically measure in a sports business. So let's say we start off with 400 active students in January. We get X number of leads, and those leads turn into customer acquisition, which we've spelt really poorly. So let's say, I'll just make it shortened. So let's say we've acquired, I'm just going to make up some numbers, 32 new customers, and we've cancelled, had 32 cancelled. So this is automatically designed to calculate our attrition rate, which is telling us it's 8%, because 32 out of 400 is 8%. So that's quite a high attrition rate. And you'll find that the theoretical max here is the combination of those two numbers. So our customer acquisition, 32, divided by 8%. So our max here is 400. So interestingly, if we bump this up, let's say we lose 40 and our attrition goes to 10%, look what happens to our theoretical max. It goes down to 320. So you might say, well, hold on a second. You're already at 400, but you're saying the theoretical max is 320. Well, yes, based on these metrics, what's going to happen is this is going to go down to 320. So that's the best performance I can get if I don't improve either my acquisition or my attrition rate. So let's say we have a look at this and have a much better retention performance. Let's say for a business of say 400 students, you probably only want to lose 12 customers or something a month. So that brings our attrition rate down to 3%, which is much more respectable. Ideally, on a monthly basis, we probably want it, around 2%. So for a 432 customer acquisition is probably pretty high. So let's say we'll bring that down to 18. That's more like it. So I can see that based on these metrics, I can see my theoretical max is 600 unless I improve my attrition or my acquisition further. So this is good because it's actually, we're at 400 now, but we can get to 600. As long as this stays true, we will eventually get to 600. So this is like having a crystal ball, because you can see how your business is set to grow based on or decline based on the existing parameters. So we can see here now, based on this, our starting value has actually gone up. And let's now look at this the next month. So let's say we stick at 18 again, but our lost customers goes down to 9. What we can see here is that our theoretical max has taken off significantly. So what I love about this is see how little our retention or attrition rate has changed. We have the same customer acquisition rate, but we have a 2.22% versus 3% attrition rate. And I've actually grown my max enrollment by over 200. Like, how awesome is that in terms of potential? So this is why it's so important to focus more on retention and retaining the customers you do have, because there's so much power in that. To drive this home, let's look at this again. One more month example. Let's say we stick with our 18 new customers a month, and we again do our 9%. Our 9 customers. This is actually a better performance because we've got a higher starting base. So again, we're dropping down our attrition, which bumps up our theoretical max. So I think the message I want to drive home here is that once you're established, it's hard to kind of increase that customer acquisition, particularly if you've got your marketing dialed in. So where the opportunity lies for a lot of businesses is with attrition rate. So hopefully you got some kind of insights from this short training. If you haven't looked at the hypothetical max enrollment formula, try it out. It's kind of eye-opening because it can really show you where you're headed and how you're performing. So we'll leave it there. Again, if you have any questions, happy to answer and help out. Also, if you'd like a copy of that sheet that I showed, I'm happy to share that with you. I can just send it via email if you like. And finally, as I said, we have a software program for sports businesses, whether you're a tennis coaching business, gymnastics, martial arts, swimming. We have a class management system that makes a lot of these kind of measurements very easy, and can really help you improve your communication with customers, save you time through scheduling, etc. So if you are interested in learning more about that, you can go to our website, firstclassretention.com, and you can sign up for a demo or a free account and things like that. So thanks for listening in. Hope you found it valuable, and we'll chat to you on our training next month. And just finally, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do subscribe. If you do like these trainings, we are releasing new ones each and every month. So check that out, subscribe, and you can stay up to date with all our trainings. So thanks, and talk to you later.